All right, day 3, step 3. Let's talk about the story. Story stick, story sell. You have to have interesting stories to build credibility at the point of sale. Part of what I do when I'm bringing new clients onto Improvifi is tell them not to judge thy neighbors. When you come into my community, you can't judge the car to the house to the home and wonder how they're going to pay. So the reason we do this and get around this in home improvement sales is this. It's very simple. Offer the same thing to everybody. Cash equals credit. How are you looking to pay? Would you like to use our money or would you like to use yours? We've got a consumer credit center. The story's repetitive here for a reason, because this works. It's simple, and it's something that your sales pros can do early, always, and often, and all the time, just like we talked about in yesterday's video and training. Presenting financing early, always, and often. So let me tell you a story. Story stick, story sell. Tiffany and I bought a house in Florida back in 2020. I emptied out all my bank accounts. I barely could make it to the closing table, the cost of funds. I was almost going to have to borrow money from the attorney, but I just made it by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Now, my wife didn't know that we spent all the money. It was gone. We didn't have room on the credit cards. It was like one of those Cinderella stories. So we're in Florida. We're on the intercoastal. We have mosquitoes. Perfectly timed postcard shows up in the mailbox for my wife to see. It's called SWAT Mosquito Systems, right? They've got these lavender misters and a 50-gallon drum, and they come there 3 times a year to fill up the drum. And here's the problem. We had mosquitoes. They had the solution. We had mosquitoes. They could kill them. So problem, solution. Here's where the sale didn't happen. We get to the point of sale. The guy's doing the flip book. Boop, 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 gets to the price, $8,500. I look at my wife. She looks at me. We're like, $8,500 to kill mosquitoes. He didn't have a payment solution. I needed one. 850 credit score. I was tapped. I couldn't put on a credit card. I didn't have equity that I could pull out of my house. He had an $8,500 ticket. All of his customers paid me. I asked him, I said, what's your financing solution so we can buy this thing? We don't have one. All of our customers pay cash or credit card. He left, no sale. He left, I still had the problem. Now, how could that have been different? Very simply. If he would have offered me a payment solution of $49 a month or $99 a month, I probably would have bought. He lost the sale because he didn't have an affordable payment solution to help solve the problem and bring the solution together. It's that simple. So story stick, story sell. I've told this story from stage for years because it's real. It's what happened to me. I find stories all the time. Another one. I buy tires for my truck. It's $1,400. There's another truck tire place down the road from where I went. I wanted to go do a price comparison. The other truck place was $1,750. There was more money right down the road for the same tires. Here's where they sold me. This isn't it. This isn't it. They had a warranty like no other. Lifetime warranty, roadside assistance. Doesn't matter what it is. We'll replace your tire for free. So the $350 difference made sense because he told me their story on their warranty and their guarantee. You have to have your sales pros have a story to tell. On our last job, the Smiths or people down the road took out XYZ. Here's the reason why. They were looking for an affordable payment solution with no prepayment penalty. They needed to have this home improvement. They wanted this home improvement, and we made it affordable for them. And we can do the same for you. You have to have a story to tell at the point of sale. So use storytelling to make financing relatable and memorable. Remember, know, like, trust, but more importantly, remember. People remember stories. They don't remember the data. They don't remember the GAF, the special window types, the special microfiber, and the Atlas, like the shingle. They don't remember that stuff. They want to hear the stories of what other people in that pain have gone through and how you solved for it. So what stories are your sales pros telling? Do they have stories? Are they a new employee that doesn't have a book of stories yet? It's okay. In your role playing, in your sales meeting, you should have stories that they can borrow from the cohorts at work so they can go out and tell the story. Well, our company, XYZ Roofing, we've had a lot of people that we've helped in the same situation and tell the story. It doesn't have to be Chris Scoville's story yet. It could be taken and borrowed from somebody else in our organization story, but it has to be ours. A well-crafted story builds trust and an emotional connection. When I told you that we had a mosquito problem, there wasn't a person watching this video that didn't understand what the heck I was talking about. Mosquitoes are a pain in the butt. They sting you and then it itches. We wanted to kill that pain. I didn't want to have a pain in the butt. I didn't want to get stung and I didn't want to itch. So that guy's mosquito system would have killed them. So I wouldn't have had those 3 pains. But we couldn't afford it, so we didn't buy it. So we were left with the pain. That's the power of storytelling. You all knew exactly what I was talking about when I started talking about a mosquito problem. We've been bit by the mosquito in the tent. We've been kept up at night by that one mosquito around our head all summer long while we're trying to sleep. We know the pain. Stories make financing feel like a smart decision, not an expense. It's the presentation. Mr. Smith, I'm not sure how you're looking to pay. A lot of our clients in this local market have been leaning in on our special promo right now because it's fantastic. There's no prepayment penalty. It's same as cash. You can pay this loan off whenever you want. Like, you've got to tell the stories. How to craft it? Well, you identify relatable homeowner concerns, people that needed money to save. They were on a budget. They didn't want to dip into their emergency funds. These are the stories that you build around so you can share them and tell other people it's okay. We've had lots of people in the same situation as you, but we can solve for this because we have a consumer credit center. Show them how financing has solved problems in your community, of the promo that you're offering, because times are tough, because people don't have the money in their bank account, because they don't want to dip into their savings or checking and empty it all out and they have no emergency funds left. You have to come up with creative stories and make them relatable so your audience and your homeowners understand. Make it something that they can touch and feel and bring it into your 5 miles famous bubble of the homes and the problems that you've solved for other people. Highlight the ease in the processes of affordability. Some people think getting financing is difficult. It's a paperless process. It's a soft credit check. All you got to do is scan this QR code and you can apply directly to the lender. It's safe, it's secure, FDIC insured. You'll have your approval in 5 minutes and it won't even impact your credit score. I'm removing all of the pain, all of the fear of emptying out my checking and savings account and letting them know how easy it is. These are the stories that you have to tell. John and Lisa wanted a new roof, but they didn't want to drain their savings. You can make up the names. Our customers down the road didn't want to drain their savings. With financing, they got the project done for an easy, affordable loan monthly payment option of only $129 a month without even touching their emergency funds. You've got to make sense of the stories so they can make an emotional attachment to it. So why storytelling works. I just discussed this, and Chuck talked about it too. Know, like, and trust. They have to trust you. They have to trust you. People don't trust contractors because of the stories that they hear or an experience that they went through. So we have to reframe the storytelling. Know, like, trust, but more importantly, remember. We want to be memorable. Your customer relates to real experiences more than the technical financing terms and the data and the interest rate. They want to know how financing has solved problems for people just like them in the local market. We're relieving the pain. A story helps them visualize themselves using it. That's why we frame it up. Tell the stories. Have 3 or 4 that you can tell and pull out of your back pocket very easily. It creates an emotional impact, making it easier for the homeowners to say yes. People do business with what they know. They do business with that they trust and they like. But more importantly, they remember. So your stories that your team practices and that you script and you role play and you go back to back have to be memorable. You must, in 2025, show up differently than your competitors. Your trucks are parked in the street. You roll out the red carpet. You put the booty shoes on. You come in. You present yourself professionally. You have a system and a process. That's why you went to the training in Arizona. That's why you did the dogfight. That's why you spent the money on your team to be there, because you're pros. You have to be memorable. This training is memorable because nobody else is doing it. How to use stories in your sales. Share real stories. Keep it short and simple and focused on the homeowner's benefits. We just had a customer in your area in the same situation. A lot of our homeowners we work with choose financing because of X, Y, and Z. On our last job, they took out the promotional loan with no prepayment penalty because they were in a very similar situation. Be real, keep it short, make it make sense. Role playing. Practice using stories to sell and offer financing. Each participant should go back and forth with real life financing. Use the stories of jobs that you've closed or jobs that you might have closed or jobs that you haven't closed. And let's see if your team can come up with interesting stories on how to build the financing story into it. Practice. Keep practicing, and then practice a little bit more, because remember, you're a sales pro. Your homeowners are not sitting at home right now practicing how to have an objection and how to have an obstacle. We're going to talk about that in a couple videos from now too. But a good story sells better than statistics. Make financing real and relatable. They're doing it. We're doing it each and every day. We'll see you on the next video. We're here to help your business grow. Talk to you soon.